Let me make something clear to the New World Order, their minions, and everyone else who might criticize me in the future. I care not if the Bible is one big allegory. I don't care if it's one big parable, metaphor, figurative speech, figurative story, analogy. Why should I? The moral of the story, okay? My dad is from Africa, where they talk about stories with morals. As far as I can remember. When I was little, besides African stories, I used to hear whitewash stories, Aesop's fables, okay? Stories like the tortoise and the hare. Do I care if the story is true? To understand that feminism and homosexuality are wrong? And just because something is an allegory doesn't mean it's not also the truth at the same time. This goes over a lot of your heads. I heard Ray Hagan say, oh, this is an allegory. So Abraham couldn't have had any kids. I see a lot of picking and choosing. The Bible is something that you have to read thoroughly, time and time again. It's spend your whole life studying to even begin to understand it. It's not something anyone can really teach you. They can help you a little bit, but it's not something that somebody can teach you by picking and choosing verses from the Bible and saying, oh, well, here's the allegory. Here's Jesus saying this. It's like saying, well, Jesus said he would rebuild the temple in 3 days. He didn't rebuild the temple. It's all a lie. He was delusional. Then if you read the whole thing through, you see that actually he was right, and he proved himself right when he rose again on the third day. And so obviously there's people who are going to look at these things as, oh, well, this is a story, and we're going to take from it what we want to take from it. If we want to believe that homosexuality is wrong, then we will. But if we don't, we'll say, oh, well, Lucifer's really right, homosexuality is right. Even if you look at it as a complete story, this is one big storybook. You Freemasons, you Rosicrucians, you Knights of Malta, Jesuits, and Templars, even if you look at it as one big story. The truths are still there. And especially if you're looking at it from, say, African point of view, okay? How many Native American cultures for example, had homosexuality was the theme of the day? How many Asian cultures had, their families who had no problem that their son came out gay? Don't worry, we don't want any grandchildren anyway. Go ahead and have a gay lover. Who wants grandchildren? All of my kids can be gay. How many cultures in the world do you really think, besides the twisted Greek culture, which twisted things? They said, oh, we like that idea. We're going to put it in our twisted, we're going to put it in our twisted minds, and we're going to twist it. Amalgamation, synthesis. Okay, it's the devil taking something that's true, twisting it, and combining it with what he believes, and saying, here is the actual truth. So no, I don't care if everything in the Bible was just a story. If there wasn't even a single, even if all the city names were made up, we're talking about, a made up world with made up cities, I wouldn't care. Homosexuality is still wrong. Murder is still wrong. Rape is still wrong. Stealing is still wrong. And there still comes a time to kill. All corniness aside, I know there's a movie called that, whatever. We'll just say, it comes the time to deal with your enemy. But you get what I'm saying. Under the right circumstances, the Bible says flat out, yes, God approves. God tells you to kill, and even tells you don't have mercy. And when you use the example of, oh, these people didn't do anything, because what I'm really talking about is, referring to a lot of this is Ray Hagan's other video. It's called racism hidden in religion or something like that. It's about 26 minutes the clip. And at the end of the clip, it makes it seem like, oh, well, at this point, Abraham had no, because you flip a few pages later, then he does have children. That's how the clip ends. Okay, anyway. Even the Hittites and the Canaanites and all them, the Jebusites and etc., who didn't do anything to the Jews, supposedly, there comes a time to kill them too. The proper circumstances, the proper time and place. Okay? Now, a lot of you don't understand what I'm saying, even after I've made it quite clear to you. My alliance with Islam is based on a belief system of morality, a system of values, not historical perceptions, not the historicity of the Quran or the historicity of the Bible. My belief system is based on values, scruples, ethics, and principles. That's what it means to be a man of principle, not a man of history. His story, your story, their story. We're all arguing about the story. Okay. There are universal principles that reign true, and homosexuality being a sin is one of them. You think it's a coincidence? And even in gang culture, where you have a lot of gang members going to jail and becoming gay, some of the people who know best about being gay, because the high percentage of people who are either gay or don't consider themselves gay but participate in homosexual acts in prison, even these cultures say it's not respectable, it's disgusting, it's repulsive, it's odious, it's repugnant, it's deplorable, it's distasteful and disgraceful. The people who do it, well, they ruin their reputation, They ill repute. That's the type of people that do it. The people who proliferate money, funds for feminist movements, gay movements. Look, I tell you this many times, I'm not going to go into it anymore. There's a difference between a women's rights activist and a feminist. Okay, when you truly break it down, I actually am a women's rights activist, but I have no time for that, and I'm mad at women, so I don't care to explain it. Okay? I'm a man of principle, and even when I don't like it, just like when I was at the park with those 4 guys, common sense say, hey, these guys are trying to rob me, they're trying to set me up, they're probably trying to beat me and rob me so they can brag to their New World Order friends. I stayed because I'm a man of principle. Even when I don't like it, I do it. When he was hitting hard and I could hit hard back, I said the principle that I said, sportsmanlike conduct will be applied, and I do what I say I'm going to do. I don't like it, but I do it. When I swore on the Bible, even though I'm converting to Islam, I said I'm a man of principle, so I'm not going to have sex, hold women, or kiss women, or have any relationships or get married. I don't like it, but I'm a man of principle. I can go on for the rest of my life. Things I don't like when I do. But anyway, because I'm a man of principle, of course. So, some of you failed to see my point, and I will never in a trillion zillion years ever say that homosexuality was prevalent in Egypt. It was okay in Egypt. If there was homosexual relationships, they were kept to themselves. You wouldn't step, the difference between Egypt and Greece is Greece had everything twisted. You could see homosexuals get into the Colosseum and become gladiators and have homosexual sex. So Spartacus was pretty right about that. Homosexuality was pretty commonplace in Egypt. In Greece. Excuse the hell out of me. In Egypt, it was looked down upon. It was frowned upon. It was disgusting. What god was homosexual in the Egyptian pantheon? The Heliopolis, the Heliopian pantheon. None of them were. It was disgusting to them. Thank you.